Friday safety focus of the week. It is October 6th. This week's code of conduct is to work in an environmental, conscientious manner. Any words of wisdom on this code item, Mr. Dow?
Yeah, just treat our surroundings with responsibility and respect.
Well said. Vermont's a beautiful place. Let's keep it that way. 146 days from our last recordable injury, and it's been 3 days from our last first aid injury. So all in all, pretty good week. Let's finish it off strong. I know we got some crews working over the weekend, so let's a friendly reminder to let's not take unnecessary risks. Let's think about what we're doing before we do it. Let's communicate those hazards. And if there's any questions out there, please ask your foreman or ask your supervisor. And again, always you can contact Health and Safety, Tom, Austin, or myself. Our phones are always on. Feel free to give us a call if there's any safety concerns or safety questions out there. With that said, Austin's going to talk about some spotter awareness. So take it away, Austin.
So yeah, I'm talking about spotters, and we all know what a spotter is. Just to look out for everyone on the site, and backing in or moving equipment to keep everyone safe. So when you need to use a spotter, when vehicles or equipment are you need to move them in a tight area or a really busy site somewhere where things happen quickly, people walking around, things like that. When you have poor visibility, that can be from the weather, could be you're getting the sun in your eyes, something like that, where you just can't see quite right, and you need a little help. So when in doubt, get a spotter. Ask someone to help you out. We also going to use them when materials are being placed close to an open hole or an excavation. Sometimes we're dumping loads in things in the hole, so it's good to have a spotter to know where to stop and or not to drive. It's good to have a spotter when we're potholing or digging for utilities. So some lookout, who's just focused on looking for underground wires that we may hit, where we need to be super careful. As I said, on busy sites where people walk around, a lot of traffic obstacles, and then also where there are overhead hazards, because a lot of times when you're operating equipment, it's hard to look up and see what's above you. So it's good to have someone looking out for that. So spotter responsibilities, make sure you position yourself where you can be seen by the operator. If the operator cannot see, if you can't see the operator, they cannot see you. So allow for sufficient stopping distances. Give them a little buffer, because they're not going to react as soon as you say stop. It's going to take a little bit. Make sure you have the proper hand signals and the appropriate communication. Just don't rely on yelling back and forth. You can be misunderstood, or the background noise can be loud. So make sure you have radios or the proper hand signals, and make sure they're always the same and consistent. Make sure you're not changing it up halfway through. Try not to assign the new guy to spot. A lot of times they're not doing something that is really pertinent right then, so it's like, hey, can you help out spotting? That's fine if you're just like backing up a truck or something like that. But when it comes to like overhead hazards and using excavators and cranes and things like that, make sure your spotter knows the equipment, knows the operator, and is kind of in the same mindset the operator's in, so they know what they're gonna do. If you need to go through an operator's blind spot, make sure you stop them, let them know what you're doing. Operator responsibilities, never move if you have a spotter, never move your equipment or vehicle without letting the spotter know, communicating with them. Stop immediately if you lose sight of the spotter or you don't understand the hand signals or the signals they're giving you. And make sure you have a clear communication plan before you start the work. Make sure you're both on the same page. So yeah, when in doubt, use a spotter. That's all I have for you.
So
Sounds
I got
good.
I got something to add on that. If you're nothing's worse than be sitting in a machine having 18 guys spotting you, or backing up a truck and having 4 or 5 guys all spotting you. So if you've got an operation that requires a spotter, have a little get together in the beginning to decide who is going to be the spotter and make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, that's one thing I skipped over. Yeah, make sure if you're the spotter, make sure that's your only job. Don't be doing something else. Don't be on a cell phone. Don't be distracted. So, yeah, that's one thing I skipped over apparently.
Perfect.
Can I just chime in too on this one? When you're a
Go ahead.
spotter, you also have a responsibility to keep yourself safe. We had an incident this year where a spotter actually directed somebody into themselves, which was extremely dangerous. So
Yep.
that's another piece of this that I want everybody to be thinking about when you are
Yep.
acting as a spotter.
Well said.
And this past week, I was out on a job, and one of our newer workers was backing up a 1-ton in a tight area, and there were 3 spotters around him while he was doing it. So it was nice to see the crew really supporting their new people and learning how to safely drive and stuff like that. And obviously, three spotters is kind of training wheels, but once they get to a point where they just need 1 or 2, then that's even better. But just make sure that when your newer people are driving, that they have spotters to make sure everything's going safely and they're learning.
Yeah, thanks,
Okay,
Tom.
thanks everybody. Good discussion. I'm gonna share my screen.
Take it away, Ken.
I can figure out which one I want.
We're looking at an email.
Here we go.
That's my screen still. Step here.
There, I should be up.
We got it, Ken.
Okay, sounds good. They're using a spotter for safe operations. Good discussion after too. Okay, announcements. Monday is, oops, Sloan, get back here. Not too far. Is the 9th, which is this coming Monday, is the Columbus Day Indigenous Peoples Day. So we are open for business, but certain projects are off. I think some of the VTrans projects and possibly maybe some of the electrical substation jobs, if they are active yet. I don't know if there's much. I know there's some coming up, might be active. Let's see, municipal, state, and federal offices are obviously closed too, so we need to plan around that. All older vehicle and equipment fuel cards have expired, so see Sarah if you need a replacement. And then we're just reminding again about this, when submitting a fuel log in Teams with a repair request, please add the equipment number or description.
Can I have one other office related?
Yep.
I notice that they are now, for people that have an office or have a mailbox in this building, rather than mailing the pay stubs, they're putting them in our mailbox now.
Yes.
So anybody
Yes.
that has a mailbox in this office, some of the foremen do, superintendents, check your mailbox and you'll see that
Yep.
your pay stub is now in there.
And you may get it faster than the
You
mail.
will. Yep.
You should. Yep. So October, as I mentioned last week, is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Support the cause with ECI swag, especially pink. I got my pink on. Friday is Pink Day for sure. And so 1 in every 9 women get breast cancer, and common misunderstanding is it's hereditary. It is not. please encourage your loved ones to get checked out if they don't already. ECI has pink high-vis t-shirts or navy sweatshirts with pink lettering available. We hope you see a lot of pink on the job in this October. And the sweatshirts are available for $10 each, with shirts and t-shirts and sweatshirts are available at $10 each. All proceeds go to the UVM Cancer Foundation. Check with Sarah if you're interested in buying one. The primary care wellness program link, and then also this week we're talking about the Main Street replacement project in the city of Essex Junction. And let's see, I'm gonna do the narration here, but do we have Adam out there, Adam Piper, and anyone else who's interested and can give kind of commentary?
Yeah, I'm here, Ken.
Okay, good. So ECI is contracted with the city of Essex Junction to install 4,200 linear feet of 12-inch diameter ductile iron water line and 390 linear feet of 8-inch and 170 of 6-inch ductile iron pipe. There's multiple valves, including a pressure reducing valve and vault. Hydrants, you got 7 hydrants, 35 services with over 1,700 linear feet of 3/4 inch copper by HDD drilling and a 2-inch copper. And then there's the abandonment of the existing line and restoration of disturbed landscape, paving, curbing, and sidewalks. So quite a bit of work there. Work has been accomplished with one-way traffic during the workday, and then with the road return back to two-way traffic for the evenings and weekends. We encountered an unanticipated ledge past Athens Drive. The city has decided to complete the project up to that point, as there is not enough good weather left to remove ledge. In the spring, the plan is to install an above-ground bypass to continue the feed to a CWD storage tank. By doing so, we'll be able to remove the existing line and install the new one in the location, the old line. This will hopefully limit the amount of ledge that would need to be removed and save the city a lot of money. All installed pipe has been pressure tested and checked for bacteria. Here's a picture of the front title sheet of the plans. Doesn't really show where 5 corners. Well, the location map shows the 5 corners at that intersection there. So it's at essentially Densmore up to almost to the 289. Well, not quite the 289 exit, but getting close to that. And it was designed by Donald Hamlin Engineers, and they are also the resident engineer. One thing I gotta say about this project is, and I think everyone, the traveling public, certainly the city, the engineer, all recognize how clean, organized, and neat and safe and everything this job site has been for the traveling public. Of course, it makes it a little more helpful when there aren't too many underground utilities. There's a few though, isn't there, Adam?
Yeah, there was. We obviously had a ton of gas services to cross.
Right.
A couple duck banks. That's one of the duck banks right there that we were crossing. There was a fair amount of utilities, but like Vermont Gas was helpful and actually removed some services temporarily for us. So there's been a few, but it's been good. We managed to get by them all.
I imagine it being a lot worse than it seems to be. I'm sure it's partly because you guys have managed it well.
Yeah, the guys have done a good job.
Oops. Yep. Yeah. Well, let me get back up because my screen jumped ahead. I think this just shows how clean and organized things are. And, normally a water line jobs just seems to be like a bomb went off for a lot of contractors. I think we've been successful here, and partly, it is certainly somewhat the ground conditions. We're not in big boulders and things that require a lot of over excavation and chunks of ground out from underneath the pavement. That helps. But a lot of it's because of good planning.
Yeah, there was a lot of effort that went into you know, at the end of the day to be closed up and, you know, not have
Right.
to go back any more than you have to.
Correct. And that paid off. There's a good example of where we're kind of finishing off our road surface after a few days of work, it looks like, and getting things buttoned up for the traveling public can feel good about what's going on and be safer.
Yeah, we used grindings at the end of every day, and then Fridays were paved days for the weekend, and Jim and the pavers helped out a lot. Pretty much every Friday they made themselves available, which helped out considerably.
Probably one of the biggest pains was traffic, but certainly these utility crossing, overhead utility crossings, and there's some signal work right there. It looks like Brickyard Road.
Yep.
And this is interesting. The street view on Google Earth, just like in Barrie, they pass through during the work, during the project. So I got some interesting, cool photos by screenshotting from Google Earth.
And if I can add, another thing that made this project really successful was the drillings group willingness and availability to come and drill the services when we crossed them at the time in real time. And I don't know how many we did, Adam, but it was what, 15, 16 of them like that?
It wasn't quite that many, but it was 7 or 8 of them that that certainly helped us. You know, it cut the excavation in half for the services, and yeah, they were, you know, literally we would call them an hour before we would be ready, and they would show up with a drill and drill the service. So it was awesome.
Cool. And here, this just shows how much effort we put into being clean and organized and not impacting the this front lawn and minimizing our cleanup and you know, having a better looking site and having a better relations with the neighbors.
Yeah, one of the big concerns, you know, with this project was going to be the impact to the public, and to, as far as I know, I don't think we've received any complaints.
I heard positive stuff from the resident engineer. Actually, he was extremely pleased and relieved that it went different than he had originally and kind of had in his thinking because of where it is.
Right.
A little more utility, looks like doing a little bit of that potholing and spotting work there that we talked about earlier.
Yep.
And then doing a joint. And then we have the wet tap, one wet tap, right? Just down at Densmore.
Yeah, 1 12 by 12, which was, as you can see, that there was an RCP. Basically, our pipe was that we were wet tapping was almost directly under that RCP, which made it a shoring challenge, but we're able to get it with an I-beam to support the pipe and some steel plates, and Mike McDougall was able to get in there and get it done.
Get another picture. There we go. This one's a little blurrier, but you can see the valves in and they're doing their tapping. And then this is a little isolation valve here or something going on.
I believe that's a 6-inch for a street tie-in. I'm not sure if it's Densmore or I think it might be for Densmore or that next building up. We did a 6-inch for a service because they've never been able to locate the service and not sure what size. So we did a 6-inch valve so that no matter what we find, when we find it, we got something to tie into.
Yep, got it. So that valve is our option?
We worked through it with the city.
Yep, okay. And that's what we got. So pretty cool job. Very well done out there. And from the photo archives, this is the CWD River Cove transmission line back in July 2012. Down there in the hole, putting together, I think that was 24-inch, wasn't it? It doesn't look that big, but I think it was. Do you
Yeah,
recall?
I think it was. I didn't work on the project, but I think it was either 18 or 24.
Yep. I remember some 24-inch valves or something, so I had to have been 24.
Yeah, and that looks like a 24-inch plug beside Bobby there behind the ladder.
Right,
so
yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
definitely
it
is
looks
20.
yeah, it looks a little more like 24 there. Good. Okay. Well, thanks, Adam, for the input, and good job out there on keeping a good, safe project for everybody on the site with lots of positive input from the residents in the town and the engineers. So I'll turn it back over to Matt. We got kind of wet weather coming later tonight, so hopefully the guys are prepared on the shutdown.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us this morning. If you're watching the group setting, please send that information over via phone call, text, email, any way you can. That'd be great. Let's have a safe day. Let's have a great day.
Yeah, real
See you
quick,
later.
Pat.
Oh, go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, so one of the foremen came up
or
to me
Tom.
this week. They said that when they went to the backyard to use a loader, the bucket was not fully attached to the loader. Just make sure that when you guys are attaching any buckets, forks, anything like that to loaders, that the pins are actually driving through the holes, and that they're going to be safe. Just press it up against the ground and stuff, and then make sure when you're getting in a loader that the implement's firmly attached as well. Also, just keep in mind, DMV is going to be hammering down on our smaller trailers starting this spring. So just make sure that if your trailer hasn't been in a while to the shop, that it's getting in there to be serviced and everything's serviceable on there. So
Yeah, definitely. For the
Thanks,
case
Phil.
of a loader, if you're not running that thing every time, especially if you're not running it every time, you need to do a walk around, make sure
Yep.
everything's attached completely and safe.
Yep, do that inspection. Yep, for sure.
Yep. All right. Good. Catch you guys later.
Have a safe day.